So in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you the contents of my emergency med kit. I've been putting this together over the past 6 years or so. I just always have it. I have used this bag many a time to help many a friend in a bad situation, and I wanted to share it with you guys today just because I see a lot of people sharing videos of SHTF survival bags or whatever, and it's overlooking a lot of important things that I don't ever see, and there's just a lot of stuff in this particular bag and notions about this particular bag that you don't see out there. First and foremost, this is a black bag. This is just a normal messenger bag. It does not have a big giant red cross on the front. It's not a green military drab, olive drab bag. My mentality is that having one of those big medical bags makes you a target in a grid down scenario, any kind of everything has gone to hell kind of scenario, because people are after medical supplies, and advertising that you are carrying a bulky bag of medical supplies is probably the dumbest thing you can do. So this bag is black, it's nondescript, and the contents of this bag are pretty much anything I could get my hands on. I stuff into this bag, but my mentality and what I've assembled into this bag is to be able to help pretty much anybody I come across with most problems that an average person can actually help with. You know, I'm not an EMT. I'm definitely not a doctor. This is just I am a martial artist and a self-defender, and I have grown up in some rough places with some rough people, and it just has come to pass that I've always had to patch up my friends, and so I keep this bag for exactly that purpose. And so let's dive right into it. Well, first and foremost, Band-Aids. Everything in this bag is separated into little Ziplocs, mostly well organized. You want to know where everything is, and first thing you're going to need to know is right here up at the top. First thing you're going to need is your Band-Aids and your towelettes. I have a bunch of different types of towelettes: iodine, alcohol, benzoalkaline, benzalconium. Yeah, benzalconium chloride. I don't read too good. Pretty much just every kind of white, well sorted, every kind of Band-Aid well sorted. Triangular bandage, extra pair of gloves, some medical tape, some silk tape, tourniquet, and a tourniquet tire. Important stuff. Syringes, sutures. This is just a little. This is a little needle with some thread on it, some surgical thread. Just for sewing up a wound, and after some time, then you go and you cut the suture away and pluck it out. This is the old school way of sealing up a wound. Or even worse, I got this here super old little skin stapler made by our buddies over at 3M. I can never find them, so this thing is definitely expired. It expired probably a decade ago, but, well, darn, I couldn't just throw it away. I should, but I couldn't unless I find more. What else do we have in here? ISO and an ISO sprayer. Very important. I also normally keep peroxide in here, but have recently used all of it. I need to get more, but everything's out right now. Pulse rate oximeter. Store it without batteries so that they don't leak, but this is a little device that tells you the oxygen saturation level in your blood. And with what is currently going on, that is actually incredibly useful, because your oxygen saturation level is highly indicative of your progress through this condition. So I've had this in my kit for years, and it's very lucky that I do, and wouldn't you know it, now I don't feel so stupid. Extra combine pad, extra band-aids, and then all of my little oints and pills. I got some meclizine, which is an antiemetic. That's it's a motion sickness, nausea pill over the counter. Everything in here is over the counter. I don't carry anything illegal. I'm kind of anti-pill in that regard, and do not like the notion of going to prison. So I do not carry any kind of like illegal drugs. But in here you will find coughs. You got cough medicine. You got diphenhydramine, Benadryl. I don't have Midol. I should have Midol in here. Guess I'm a misogynist. I should rectify that. There's a bunch of Neosporin in here, triple antibiotic ointments, some capsaicin cream for joint pain. If I come across anybody who's old and their knees are hurting from a whole day of running down the trail, trying to get away from the marauders, well, I'll be able to help them. This big old bag of every kind of gauze and combine pad, super bandage you could imagine. These are for soaking up lots of blood for big traumas. These are for wrapping up big heavy wounds. This is pretty much like battle stuff. And I also keep, for that, several packets of bleed stop stuffed into one box. And this is an instant blood clotter. It's great for just using on a very large traumatic wound that is bleeding heavily. This is just pack some dirt into it. It works. Wonderful product. And then I keep this little surgical tool kit. It's a gift from my best friend, and it's just got everything in it. Forceps tweezers, some more sutures and pads, lots of sutures up in here. This stuff's a lot newer and more sterile, so it's definitely the first stuff to get used. I got some picks and some tweezers and pliers, and just a lot of nasty stuff in here. Medicine is torture, man. But yeah, surgical tools, bleed stop, combine pads, and some extra surgical tools with an EpiPen. You should be able to help somebody who has been shot with this stuff right here. You should be able to help, hopefully. What I do not have are saline, any form of saline, but what I can do is make it. I do not have any means to administer a blood transfusion, but I do know how to just do that. One thing I wish I had in here was an emergency tracheotomy tube, although I do know how to make one. Last two items I do keep in here, 3 items. I've got this little kit right here that has gloves, surgical tape, like silk tape and nylon tape, just different kinds of medical tapes, wrist brace. I don't know what the hell. Oh, that's a little wrist brace as well, and jammed finger brace. Just very seldomly see a lot of these items in most other preppers' med kits, and I just wonder what they plan on doing when they jam their finger, or one of their party is suffering from a food allergy, or they get shot. I very rarely see people with, adequate gunshot, adequate equipment to handle a gunshot. This isn't as adequate as like a trauma room, an ER, or what have you, but you know, if you're out in the middle of the woods and you get shot. I mean, I always take this with me camping. If somebody I'm camping with gets shot by some dumb drunk hunter or something, somebody who's not obeying safety precautions, then you know, it's better to have all this stuff and than to not have it when you really need it. But I don't see a lot of these things in many other preppers' bags, so I figured I'd just share it with you. Oh, and then multi-trauma dressing for if somebody is shot multiple times. But if that's the case, not really anything I can do for you, except maybe like give you some whiskey or something. And last but not least, bite and sting kit. This is a reverse vacuum syringe pump. When you push down on it, it pulls your skin up, and it uses suction to draw poison, venom and poison from stings or anything out of your skin. So very important to have, especially if you're hoofing it through the bush, to avoid the droves of marauders or zombies or whatever. It's important to have a bite sting kit because animals, they're going to be what kills you out there. Animals, dehydration, and you know, and simple infections. So you want to have good antibiotic ointments. You want to have good bandage solutions. If you get shot, you want to be able to at least have a fighting chance. If your immunity is compromised while you're out there, you want to be able to take antihistamines. That's what the different pills I keep in here are for, is fighting off a cold, fighting off allergies, just the different things that diphenhydramine is useful for. And, I built this kit with what I could, keeping in mind that I grew up very not well off, didn't have a whole lot of money to put this kit together, and this has been put together over years and used many a time. So there's not in here right now what is always in here. Like, I usually have even more stuff, but I figure you know, this might give some people some insight into maybe some things they were forgetting out in their kits. And one thing that is I really hope it's a big takeaway from this is that black discreet bag beats a giant flashy med bag every time. Let me tell you why, man. It's the end of the world. The grid is down. We're all out in the wasteland roving around. I'm perched up on my hill with my sniper rifle because that's how I roll. And I see you 2 miles out in the distance carrying a big green bag with a red fucking cross on it. The temptation to kill you and take your stuff. I don't know. In that kind of situation, if I wouldn't be able to resist it, I don't know that the average person would be able to resist it. Medical supplies are worth more than gold in a grid down apocalyptic scenario. So don't carry them around in a big bag that says, hey, I've got 50 pounds of medical supplies right here. Yeah, if anything is the big takeaway from this video, I would hope that it would be that you don't want to be drawing attention to the fact that you have these particular items, because in a really bad situation, people will shoot you in the face and take this stuff. Yeah. Well, thanks for watching.